The thing is our kids are monumentally fat.
Are they though? I don't spend a lot of time hanging out at school gates, as I know you do. But like, how are they looking these days?
I don't think people talk enough about this, Tom. Savile raised millions for spinal charities.
Exactly. I mean, there's always another side of the ledger. So
Yeah, it's like Harold Shipman. I'm going to name 2 celebrity Arsenal fans. Number 1 is our Keir Starmer.
All you need to know.
And the second one, Osama bin Laden.
Really?
Osama bin Laden was an Arsenal fan.
Why didn't I know this?
Hello and welcome to Francis Foster Sorts Your Life Out, the show where I indeed sort your life out. Bear in mind, I'm not any type of therapist, I'm not a psychotherapist, I'm not a physiotherapist, I'm none of that. So the information that you're going to get in this show is golden. It will change your life. Implement it in every possible way. It's just going to be brilliant. And we've invited a very special guest for this episode. One of my literal favourite people. It's Mr. Tom Slater from Spiked. How are you, Tom?
I'm good, Francis. Thanks for having us.
And are you the person? Are you good at sorting people's problems out? Do people come to Tom?
Not really, no. So this is going to be a bit of an experiment, I think. I'm up for the challenge, but I don't think I'm going to be able to sort anyone's life out.
Really? Do people not come to you and go, Tom, you know, having problems with the missus?
No, exactly. I'm a kind of pillar of my local community.
You're a community leader, mate.
Exactly. And why can't I be if everyone else is these days? Surely I can apply somewhere. Do you have to apply? I've never got to the bottom of this, but...
I don't know. You can be a community leader for white people.
No one wants that. Imagine that on a business card. Can't be doing that, but yeah. I'll try my best with... I
don't know, I could see you being interviewed in Channel 4 after a riot.
No, exactly.
Going.
Exactly, we've addressed the community leaders and he said he'll have a word with them. You know, that's I'm glad that's the vibe I'm giving off because it wasn't intentional, but you know.
I can imagine you hanging out in council estates in Clacton.
Yeah, just trying to calm everyone down.
Yeah, trying to calm everyone down before the next riot.
There we go.
Fantastic stuff. So, have you been well, though?
Very well, thank you. How about yourself?
I've been good. So we're going to crack on with the first question, and let's see what it is. Dear Francis, the kids' school sent a letter saying they're cutting back on meat in the canteen to meet net zero goals. My son's gutted. He lives for chicken nuggets. And my wife says it's brainwashing kids into veganism. I kind of see the climate point, but it does feel like they're forcing it on us. Do I complain to the head teacher or just pack a ham sandwich?
I mean, resistance is surely the only option in this case. They're forcing this on your child, first of all,
which
is not acceptable.
Yeah.
You know, there's been no consultation here whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of like protests outside schools and stuff. That feels like, you know, that's getting in the way of education. You're a former teacher. You don't want people like handing McDonald's through the school gates, kind of Jamie Oliver school dinner style all the time. But I think just, you know, passive, non-violent resistance. Just pack his lunchbox full of meat products, get and hand them out slowly but surely. The cracks will start to show, you know.
So you're talking about subtle but...
Subversion, you know.
But subversion of the norm.
Absolutely. I think that's the only way you're going to deal with something like this, you know, because you don't want to get into a pitched battle, especially nowadays, as we saw with that. You see that couple in Borehamwood a couple of months ago? So we just interviewed them for Spikes, incidentally, but they were in a long-running kind of battle with their kids' school.
Yeah. Over
some internal stuff, how they're appointing the head teacher, but also because their daughter's got certain needs that need to be attended. They ended up getting banned from the school gates because the school were upset about how much they were criticising them on like parents' WhatsApp groups and stuff. And they eventually get arrested by the police and put in a police cell for 8 hours.
For what? What for? For criticising the school?
Basically, they try to claim it was harassment. They had absolutely nothing. So this is the point. The stakes are much higher now. Like, you know, back in the days, you had a bit of some sort of dispute with your school. You might just, you know, make your presence felt. Now they'll just call the police round. So you've got to be a little bit more careful than you have been previously, I guess. Okay,
fair point. Let's put the counterpoint to this.
Okay.
We're going to do the counterpoint. The words were, my son lives for chicken nuggets. Now, I don't mean to judge, and I may not be accurate with my assessment, but her son, or his son, sounds like a bit of a chunky monkey.
But, you know, if they're not... The thing is, why are school dinners so healthy anyway? Kids can take it. Surely, like, a few chicken nuggets... like, chicken nuggets quite important. You know, people have been able to make asylum claims off the basis of chicken nuggets recently. You know, was that Albanian fella who dodged deportation because his son had a particular fondness for English chicken nuggets. So if the immigration tribunal is going to take that kind of addiction seriously, why shouldn't this school?
I mean, it's a pretty rock-solid argument. The thing is our kids are monumentally fat.
Are they, though?
They are. Listen,
Because I hear this. Maybe it's just because like Chris Snowden or I do a
Listen,
podcast where he's obsessed with this issue. But are they that fat? I don't spend a lot of time hanging out at school gates, as I know you do. But like, how are they looking these days?
When, I was going to say, but bear in mind, when I was hanging out at school gates, I was paid to hang out at school gates, and that just actually made it sound worse.
So we're not going to say who you were paid for and for what, but
yeah. Exactly. But I will say this: when the kids, because I used to do PE because I used to be a primary school teacher, and when the kids were getting changed, there were more tits there than in the Playboy Mansion.
So again, you're not helping your case that this wasn't something creepy, ogling the youngsters. But you know, at the same, if kids want to eat chicken nuggets, let them eat chicken nuggets. Like, I get that you don't want to be filling them with absolute crap all the time. But like, is it the worst thing in the world that on a Thursday or whatever it's chicken nugget day in the school canteen? Probably not.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just,
and it's net zero as well. Like, why is a school bothered with net zero? Like, what has that got to do with anything?
Look, it's a good point. It's a good point. It's just. Schools love to just embrace these kind of left-wing, sort of, you know, political, social movements. And I remember when I was a teacher, you know, my favourite thing, this was, we had a picture. Bear in mind, I was teaching in 2013, this was. I had a picture where there were pictures all over my school of a great man, Oscar Pistorius.
Incredible. Presumably this was before what we're going to very likely call the controversy that's around it.
Yeah.
That was,
no, he did it afterwards. We put him up.
How quickly after the trial was that painted over? Like, was there a kind of period of, we should maybe keep it up? He is still a, you know, sporting hero.
My deputy head was a very fat man. But I bet he could have beaten Oscar Pistorius' sprint record the way he travelled around the school tearing down those posters.
What a terrible bet to have made. God, it'd be like having to rip down the Jimmy Savile statue outside the Children's Hospital or something. You know, it's a terrible state of affairs. But
I don't think people talk enough about this, Tom. Savile raised millions for spinal charities.
You say there's a whole other side of the ledger that is never really talked about in relation to Savile. You know, and I'm glad it needs someone to take up that very unpopular cause. So.
Stoke Mandeville Hospital would not have, the spinal unit wouldn't have existed without Savile. So
what you're saying here, that you can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs? Is that where we've got to?
I'm just saying.
Do you think he's a victim of cancel culture, like posthumous cancel culture? Okay.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is, you know, that you've got it.
There's two sides to every story. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not just good. There's not just bad, and there's not just good. Every man is a composite of his life. I don't even know if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. Maybe you haven't picked the most amiable character to try and make this argument off the back of, but, you know, I respect the bravery of taking this on.
I'm just saying, and this is indisputable, and Jack backs me up on this, because, you know, he was a big fan back in the day. Jim will fix it, won't you, Jackie?
I was going to say, yeah.
Shut up.
Savile was long gone. He wasn't fixing it for anyone by the time.
But no, you see, Jack's been disrespectful there to Jimmy's legacy and memory, and we will have a word out after the episode about this, Jack. It's not cricket, but there is currently many people now walking around the UK that wouldn't have happened if Stoke Mandeville Spinal Unit wouldn't have been open. I'm just saying it.
Yeah.
And that was done single-handedly because of Savile.
So you think people should be more grateful?
No, I'm just saying that's also a thing.
Exactly. I mean, there's always another side of the ledger, as we say. So,
yeah, it's like Harold Shipman.
Okay, this will be interesting. So, right, break this down for me. Harold Shipman, right?
Yeah.
We all know about the murders, but what's the other side? You're suggesting that in his, you know, when he wasn't killing them, he was actually giving them tip-top care. I'm
saying ageing population, pressure on the NHS.
Oh, okay, this is it. Right, so it's actually for his crimes, you think he should be?
I'm just saying that, you know, we complain about waiting lists.
And I always say, who's going to do something about it? Someone does something about it, and we turn them into a monster. You know.
Just think how much he saved the NHS.
You're giving me a lot more to think about than I thought I was going to get. I'm reappraising all kinds of monstrous characters from recent British history.
Yeah, but I mean, think how much he saved. We're talking about cost cutting.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And, you know, he was efficient.
So you think West Streeting should look afresh at this sort of... I mean, the assisted dying thing is kind of that, isn't it? Really, when you think
it is.
I know Streeting doesn't like it, but, you know.
No. And the only reason we didn't like Harold It's because he took a free market-based approach to it.
I like this is your first name terms of him now. Such affection with which you hold him that he's, you know.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
No, I respect it. I respect as I say, the the bravery of the unfashionable causes that you're taking up here. But yeah,
I mean, it's very spiked when you think about it.
is it? But you know, I mean, who else are we going to go for? Any other sort of serial killers or sex abusers that you want to vouch for here?
I make a point about this in my stand-up, Ted Bundy.
Okay, hit me with it.
Right, okay. I will... People criticise Bundy, but as I make a point in my stand-up, women need Ted Bundy. Because otherwise, what Netflix documentaries are they going to watch?
That's very true.
They love it.
Also, there seems to be, we see it a very different set of circumstances, obviously, but the kind of Mangione thing.
Yeah.
There's something about certain killers that are just a magnet for this sort of attention and, let's be honest, thirst which exists out there. So, you know, they're serving some kind of purpose, as you say.
Listen, if you get a good-looking murderer who's educated, comes from money, with a ripped bod like Luigi Mangione, I'm saying that a lot of women would say that they want him to Mangione on them.
I think you might be right. I mean, if Mangione looked like, I don't know, like
Me.
what? I didn't say that. But like, you know, one of those sort of chinless keyboard warrior meme sort of characters.
Yeah.
You're probably right. This probably wouldn't have generated anywhere near the same level of attention. Like, is it really that simple?
I think it is.
That's dispiriting a bit, isn't it?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think women are a lot more shallow than they pretend. We seem to think about in the binary that, you know, men are...
The shallow ones.
Yeah, and women are some... I don't think they are.
They just reserve it for, you know, vigilantes and serial killers sort of thing.
Yeah,
Got you.
they fucking love it. Because they look at him, they're like, I can change him.
Yeah.
Are you a big fan of Luigi Mangione, Tom?
No, not particularly. I found, as you might have detected, I found the whole fandom quite creepy. There is something going on in America now where there's a certain frisson, like, hunger for different forms of political violence, and that doesn't bode well. And it is just so straightforwardly, like, people just got the hots for them. They're not even scared of saying it either. You know, like, there's some sort of dress up as, oh, this is resistance against a horrible healthcare system, but really it's just that picture of him with his top off, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not with it. But, you know, presumably, as one of the killers, you've got a, you know, you're on his side, presumably. Or is it just...
I've never said I'm on anybody's side. I've just said we need to look at the problem in the round.
Yeah.
In the round. I'm saying, are you a single man?
Yes. So you suggested I should get 3D print a gun, go to America, get in shape, and then just...
I reckon get on the tee, you know, and that will help because with the irrational rages.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you're gonna. I think your Hinge inbox will be full.
And this is great because I thought we were going to solve other people's problems, but you're solving all of mine now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a high risk strategy. This sort of the Mangione, you know, diet, Mangione way. But I'm more than willing to give it a try for you. If that.
I think so, mate. I think high stakes moves yield high stakes results.
It's a theory. I'm willing to test the destruction for you. So.
Yeah, I think you, Fraser Myers.
Yeah.
Is Fraser single?
Yeah, as far as I know. Unless something's happened since I last talked to him about it. So yeah.
Yeah, you know.
I'm not going to the gym though. That's just a waste of time. Too many people go to the gym, in my view. I don't understand it.
What do you mean you don't understand it?
It's just like, first of all, if you want to lose a bit of weight or whatever, that's fine. But it's like, why is it, particularly a generation of like my generation and younger, just think that it's so important? Like, it just seems like a pain in the arse. Like, as long as you're relatively in shape, surely that's fine.
All right, yeah. Do you not want to have a six pack?
I can't be bothered. Like,
With a body that would make a gay man weep.
Well, it depends what you're looking for, I suppose. But no, I just think, like, young people, they just think they put far too much kind of thought into like how much effort needs to go into this. Like, just relax. Like,
well, our producer Jack, he works out religiously.
And I'm gonna have words with Martles. You're wasting your life. This is.
Don't do that, mate. No. He's on the tee and he gets a bit aggressive, particularly at this time of the day. If because he has one meal every 6 days, and it's obviously 3,000 grams of protein.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm picturing it now.
Yeah, and he spends the rest of the time.
Is it all just liquefied for some reason?
Yeah,
like drinking it rather than okay, like what? This is no life, surely.
And he just sits here in the dark eating it like a vulture.
Exactly, he's getting more and more angry. Like
you know, like a vulture.
It's a lost generation of young men.
Yeah,
who've lost themselves to fitness.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just eating protein, going to the gym and ingesting Tommy videos.
Getting up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, ice in the face.
Yeah, ice in the face.
He does that as well, I bet. I can tell. he's looking. But yeah, it's a wasted life.
I don't know. He seems happier if angrier.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, whatever floats your boat, Jack. I don't mean to shame you over here because you can't respond. So
I mean, he will respond, but it will be in the physical arena.
I'm not looking forward to getting out from this chair.
As opposed to the intellectual one.
No, exactly.
Okay, Jackie, next one, please. Right, let's talk about grooming. Not that kind, the proper kind. If you want to tidy things up downstairs without looking like you've lost a fight with a hedge trimmer, the new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra in the white hot edition is the tool for the job. It's got skin-safe technology, dual blades, and even a light, because shaving your crown jewels in the dark is a terrible idea. Trust me, I've done it. Ooh, not good. It's waterproof too, so I can sort myself out in the shower and pretend I've got my life together. Of course I have. Look at me. Plus, the white and gold design, very slick. Looks like it belongs in James Bond's toiletry bag. There's a reason we've been working with Manscaped for 3 years now. Because they pay us. Of course they do. They're reliable like that. No, because they're the best. The quality of their products and customer service standards are second to none. Go to manscaped.com and use code TRIGGER15 for 15% off your entire order. That's TRIGGER15 at manscaped.com. Trim like a gent, look like you meant it. Doesn't even rhyme. Dear Francis, my office is trialling AI assistants to draft emails and schedule meetings, and my colleague's convinced it's the first step to replacing us. He started sabotaging his tasks to prove humans are better. I think it's handy, but now HR's sniffing around. Shall I tell him to stop or keep my head down?
Oh, this is difficult. I mean, first of all, like if you can be that easily replaced by AI at this point, maybe you need to work on your game a little bit at work. Because obviously they can do good things at the moment. Like we use them a bit around the edges, you know, transcribing an interview or whatever than that. But if you can't, there's a bit of overclaiming going on with AI, don't you think? Like the idea it's going to replace every white-collar worker tomorrow. I think he's paranoid, I guess is what I'm getting at.
It depends on the sector. So, for instance, I think with things like graphic design, I think it's kind of obliterated graphic design, hasn't it, really? So the graphic designers have been hollowed out. I think it's going to absolutely decimate animation. Things like translation, particularly low-level translation, basic, I think that's going to be gone pretty soon.
I can see that. So,
yeah, I see what you mean. But also, don't people need entry-level jobs in order to then ascend the ladder, Tom?
Well, the hope is that, you know, you get different kinds of entry-level jobs. You take a lot of the kind of scut work out. Because you could have this argument over any form of, like, technology moving forward. It is just particularly funny because of the fact that at this particular phase, it's all the kind of white-collar jobs that are getting wiped out, which makes you think, like, what is that kind of political revolt going to look like? Like, what does a bunch of graphic designers together trying to rage against the system, is that going to go anywhere?
I don't know.
Can they present any form of real public menace? I'm not entirely sure.
Not really. You know, when I think of a bunch of graphic designers, I just think of Arsenal fans.
Yeah, no, terrible people. Arsenal fans, that is. Graphic designers, I've got no.
Do you know? Here's a. I'm going to name 2 celebrity Arsenal fans. Number 1 is our glorious Prime Minister, Keir Starmer.
All you need to know, in my view.
And he's actually a proper Arsenal fan. And I will give Keir credit for this. Unlike Blair, who pretended, he actually loved. He's got a season ticket. He loves them.
It's like Blair pretended. David Cameron pretended, and then forgot which team that he was backing. Was he originally claiming Villa and then got confused with West Ham or vice versa? I can't believe. Just at least he knew the colours of the kit. Yeah, like, that's better than nothing. But that's the weird thing about Keir Starmer. I think Jeff has made this joke. He looks so like someone pretending to be into football, someone who, you know, like prawn sandwich brigade at best, but is actually a lifelong Arsenal fan and football fan. It's amazing that even when he's trying to be authentic, it comes off as incredibly inauthentic. Like, it's an incredible, rare political skill that he's managed to, that he's managed to do that. But
because he's a proper football fan, he is. And the second one, Osama bin Laden.
Really?
Osama bin Laden was an Arsenal fan.
Why didn't I know this? I feel like this is something that I could.
Yeah, so Osama bin Laden in the 70s lived round the corner. Jackie, if we could get up, please. If we lived round with his family, when his family used to visit, because obviously Saudis with money have always visited London, particularly during the summer months when Saudi Arabia is obviously too hot. They live round the corner from Highbury. There we go. Osama bin Laden was an Arsenal fan. The death of Osama bin Laden has thrown the spotlight on the long-held claim that the Al-Qaeda leader was an Arsenal fan. Yeah, and he apparently was. He went to games.
I mean, this is everything you need to know about that football club and its fan base, I think. You know, Keir Starmer and Osama bin Laden, you know. Keir Starmer, though, because have you been kind of surprised by how terrible he's been?
Have I been surprised by how terrible he's been? I'm going to give you a nuanced view of Keir Starmer.
It's what I expect from you and your Jimmy Savile talking points. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because we've got to look at the man
in the round.
Yeah, I think he was given an impossible job, if I'm being honest. I genuinely do. I think the Tories were so inept, corrupt, just horrible, the way they ran this country into the ground over 14 years. Not through the criticisms that the left have of them, although some of them are valid, but just because they were useless and appalling and all of those things. Mm-hmm. I think he was given pretty much an impossible job, if I'm being honest.
He is particularly irritating because not only is he pursuing a lot of the same terrible policies that got us into this mess in the first place, as well as some new ones which are equally as terrible, but also just that complete charisma vacuum is genuinely wearing on a day-to-day basis. Like, at least, like, as much as I loathe the New Labour years and Blair and so on, there was a bit of polish. There was a bit of being able to string a sentence together. Like, I don't know about you, but like when we're kind of, as journalists, like forced to listen to all of these speeches, like, it's incredible. Like, you have to keep skipping back. Like, the words like evaporate on contact with your eardrums. It's so blancmangy and boring. And like this, it does feel like, I don't think it's just him. Like, if you look at the Labour front bench or like a lot of the Tories and whatever, they're just so, even on a superficial level, unimpressive. Like, they've all got like main character syndrome and assistant manager energy. Like, you're just really unimpressive people. And it just feels like you're just being led by complete mid-ranking bureaucrats who really couldn't run anything. And he just does feel like the worst example of that. So I guess what I'm saying is it adds insult to injury. Yeah. Like, at least if they had a certain level of, you know, charisma, leadership, whatever, you could it wouldn't feel as insulting as it does with Keir Starmer, who just feels like he's trying to bore us into submission at every possible juncture. Yeah. And yet everyone hates him. That's what's amazing. He's incredibly boring and yet everyone hates him.
Fair.
There's all these kind of theories, you know, there's a kind of strange obsession with the idea that he's got some weird private life. I'm sure you see this kind of doing the rounds on social media constantly, which again doesn't even make sense. Because not that I'm claiming any insider knowledge here, but Keir Starmer, he almost seems too boring to even be like a wrong 'un on the quiet. Yeah. Yeah. There are claims about his private life. I don't believe it. I just feel he looks like the sort of bloke who like is scheduled, like he has sex with his wife 2 times a year. It's scheduled. It's in the calendar. That's perfectly fine for him. You know, she would probably like that to be a little bit less, but that's the agreement that they've come to. Like, he doesn't seem like a particular... I might be wrong. This might be disproven by events. It's a good point. Now let's do Osama bin Laden. What do you think about Osama? I'm not a fan. Because, you know, I'm sure you're going to give the counter case in a minute. Yeah. You know, Arsenal to one side. But, you know, 9/11, you know, generally kind of being at the centre of the jihadist upsurge, becoming a sort of hero for all the worst people across the Islamist world, you know, that to me would probably confine him to one of history's great villains. But I'm sure he was really nice to his mum or something. No. But if you think about it, a man of great vision. Mm-hmm. That's one way of putting it. Yeah. He's a very talented project manager. That's true. Yeah. Anything else? Any children's hospitals that he opened? Or? And also, he was partial to the odd porn mag. That is true. Yeah. Wasn't it when they raided his compound? Yeah. It was just like tons of the stuff. Yeah. I would love to think that... It's a bit haram, though, isn't it? It is a bit haram, but, you know, as I've said before, Tom, no one's perfect. No, exactly. Who are we to judge Osama bin Laden? You know, I really do think sometimes, you know, Osama bin Laden, the fact that he probably enjoyed a copy of Razzle, you know, humanised him. Like Russian picture of Brad, that would really date him as well. That's right. But yeah, you're right. We shouldn't judge, should we? Shouldn't we too? On this high horse. Exactly. Looking at international terrorists. Are you an atheist or an agnostic, or are you a Christian? I'm an atheist. Yeah. Which is increasingly few number. There's a lot of people sort of converting at the moment, isn't there? Yeah, there are. What about you? Are you on some sort of journey? No, I'm not. I do actually think there's something. I do think there is a God, but I don't. I think it's beyond the realms of human capacity to actually understand and intellectualize what God actually is. Which is why I think when I see people talking about God, I think it's kind of pointless. Yeah. It's like trying to explain the taxation system to a cat. Yeah. But you're like an ayahuasca guy, right? So have you had any of those kind of weird moments where you've... I haven't done ayahuasca, no. I've done other stuff, and I've had my moments, and you know, you've had ego death and all the rest of it, which was
very profound. But no, I just no. I'm not a religious person. I'm just saying. Do you ever think you could be religious like Osama?
That's a great way of framing that question. As well. I mean, it's something which I understand that, like, now, putting Osama to one side just for a moment, we can return to it.
Yeah.
But putting Osama to one side, I do understand that there is this sort of discussion around, like, there being a bit of a God-shaped hole. Because I think there's, like, a certain type of atheism, which was obviously very popular in, like, the 90s and 2000s, the new atheists and so on, which was, like, really sort of hollow and deracinated. Like, we are just no more than sort of tailless apes on this kind of cosmic car crash / roller coaster, and it's not really particularly meaningful. And I feel like because of that, because there's not, sorry to get so serious, but because there's not a kind of more of a sort of pro-human, pro-enlightenment argument around why, like, humanity is a good thing. We're not just an accident. We're actually, you know, there's actually kind of values that we can carve out that would be worth defending. It's not all just sort of guesswork and, you know, the Big Bang now here. Nothing is particularly meaningful. I think it's kind of created the space for people to start looking around elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know? And you're certainly seeing it on the right, like even people who are not religious at all are suddenly all getting dunked left, right and centre. But fair play to them. But I understand where that kind of lack comes from, but it's not something that I think is, you know, religion is necessarily the answer.
Absolutely. Okay, well, there we go. Osama might disagree with you. And, you know, it's...
Write in if you're there, wherever you are, you know.
Yeah. Might, you know, wherever you are, Osama. And, you know, like, you know, it's different viewpoints, isn't it?
Absolutely. You welcome free speech.
Yeah, I welcome free speech. Osama bin Laden, welcome to Short Your Life.
That would be a great get.
Yeah, it would be.
For all kinds of reasons, you know. You probably need a Ouija board or something.
Yeah, exactly. You know. Exactly. Anyway, gone too soon. Dear Francis, my neighbourhood's been buzzing since Trump sent the National Guard to LA over these immigration protests. My body says about time someone cracked down on left-wing chaos. But my co-worker's scared it's just Trump flexing muscle to scare off dissent. I just want to walk my dog without seeing riot gear. Should I tell them both to chill or move my walks to the park?
So this is your audience in LA?
Yeah.
So he's right up in the middle of it. I mean, I like the fact that his primary concern is that he can't walk the dog as well. Like, you know, things are on fire. There's, you know, rubber bullets being fired at journalists and so on. But he's like, this is really going to get in the way of Fido's, you know, like evening constitutional.
Yeah.
Which is quite sweet. So, right, his co-workers are... so his buddy's very keen for them to be cracked down upon, but his co-worker's scared it's just Trump flexing. That's difficult, man. He's caught between the two extremes there, isn't he? Which is a place that many of us find ourselves in, I suppose, these days with how polarised politics has become. But I don't know the way around it. I mean, you've just got to... I think when things become really polarised, you've just got to kind of do your best, particularly amongst people who otherwise you don't want to be talking about politics with. You just got to kind of try and duck it out a bit, haven't you?
Do you know? Like, you know what it is? And do you spend a lot of time in America?
We used to. It's something that we used to go over there quite a lot for Spike and do a lot of work over there. We haven't been for a few years, so I kind of haven't seen the kind of post 2020 America too much. But obviously you're there all the time, so is it as... Because I do wonder how much this, even though I was just engaging it myself, how much this kind of caricature of them being completely at each other's throats, does that really bear true?
Do you know what it is? It's true and it's not true, right? Average Americans going about their day, it's nothing like that. But the political polarization in when it comes to politics, it's just so extreme. Like, you see the way that one regime goes this way, and then there's no centre ground, it seems. It's either completely mentally left or completely mentally right. And you're just going, can we... It's, you know, it's so insane. Like, you go on Twitter and you see Elon Musk calling to Donald Trump a nonce.
And that was... I was thinking when that happened, I was like, if you'd told me that this relationship between the two of them, and it seems like they might patch up, but nevertheless, the blow-up was going to be him saying that Trump was on the Epstein list, I'd be like, actually, that makes perfect sense. Like, that was the only way this could possibly end, is with that kind of escalation. But they're friends now again, aren't they? What's a few kind of, you know, pedo accusations between friends?
Do you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember you seen like your two drunk aunties on Facebook having a go at each other because they've been on the white wine, they've been on the Lamborghinis, and they're like, Stacey, you've always been a slag.
It was very much like that. But then he came out, didn't he? Said Elon Musk that he's, you know, revealed recently that he's been sort of he was taking ketamine a long time that he was in the administration. I think to treat his various mental health problems. But nevertheless, I did think to myself, he does tweet like somebody's on ketamine all the time. Makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Don't ket and tweet, kids, is the lesson from that.
Absolutely. And just a point to make as well is that Bin Laden never took ket, did he?
Well, he had his other vices, as we know.
Yeah, just making points. I always forget how mental America is, and then I go and I'm like, oh, you're all fucking insane.
But it's the extremes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or the people who are shouting the loudest. Because most American people are just really nice, hospitable. Yeah, they've got their political views, but a lot, like here, they kind of don't necessarily wear them as heavily as people who are constantly put in front of our faces on social media all the time.
Yeah.
Do. But
Absolutely.
something's gone a bit wrong. This one's from Osama. No.
Yeah. Dear Francis, I saw on the news that the UK is talking about bringing back national service for teenagers, like a modern version with cyber training or something. My nephew's 16 and says he'd rather go to jail than do it. I'm torn. I think some discipline might do him good. But it also feels like the government's grasping at straws. Shall I talk him round or let him dig his heels in?
This is a difficult one as well. Because there's a lot of discussion about national service, isn't there? And it's often had out by people who certainly wouldn't qualify for it anymore. So, for instance, I'd be perfectly in favour of it as long as I, just about missed out on the qualification there. But especially what they're talking about now, it just sounds like it's going to be like a gap year or something. Like they're just going to, take them around a few military bases, teach them a few skills. It's not going to be as intense as what people might expect it to be. But you know what? If he's a conscientious objector, stick to your principles, I understand it. What could possibly, it's not as if he's going to get, Van's going to show up and insist that he comes along, is it? It sounds like whatever they're planning sounds like a lot more like just like community service rather than actually anything proper. But, what do you think? Do you think the younger generation need to be toughened up?
They need a good beating, mate. They need a good beating.
Via national service or just in general?
Just in general, mate. Just in general. No, you know what it is? This is a more nuanced approach. People...
Here we go again.
Here we go again. You got to look at them in the round. We complain about our children and the young people and we point fingers. Whose fault is that? It's actually our fault.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We raised them. And then when they turn out to be psychopathic little narcissists, then we start complaining about it. It's like, well, you put an iPhone in their hand from the moment they could process information.
That is a funny one because all that sort of discussion around should there be some sort of law to ban kids having smartphones up to 16 or whatever. Yeah. And I don't have children. Not obviously. Who knows? But I don't have children, so therefore it's obviously unfair for me to judge, I suppose. But at the same time, let's do it anyway. Is it really that irresistible? Do you have to buy them like an £800 piece of machinery? Otherwise, it's impossible for them to go about their daily lives. They'll be ostracized. I just don't necessarily buy that. Yeah. I do think they're particularly my generation where smartphones only really came in when we were basically at university. Yeah. Was actually a real blessing. And can't we just replicate that without needing the government to come in and do it? But what do I know? But it's obviously been bad for them. But at the same time, is national service going to sort them out, or are they just going to be on their phones the whole time?
Well, take your phones off them and get the fat little shits to run about a bit.
There we go. Are you offering your services to do this? You can be a sort of
not for me
Sergeant
to run
Major.
about because I'm a fat big shit. But I don't know. I do think we are entering a world of, shall we say, a more unstable world. So, what are we going to do?
And also, it's like people bring up those surveys. It's always hard to work out how true it is. But the number of young people who would fight for their country and all the rest of it. And it's always a little bit difficult because, first of all, when it's just theoretical, who they know. I mean, there was a lot of people in Ukraine, I'm sure, who weren't chomping at the bit to sign up. But as soon as the chips are down, you're being invaded. It's not just your country in the abstract. It's actually your home and your friends and whatever. Things change. But also, it's like your point about who made these young people. Like they've just had this steady diet of where you live is a horrible place. It's really racist. Maybe even Britain doesn't have a right to exist. It's kind of like the undertone of a lot of what they get in education. And then they're shocked and appalled that they don't want to sign up.
Well, here's the thing. Generation Alpha. Woo! The boys are problematic.
This is what I keep hearing. So it's like Generation Z, there's a lot of discussion about where they're falling politically. You think Alpha where it's at, that's where they're going to, the extreme backlash is going to.
Yeah.
Because these younger people always seem to, depending on who you talk to, they're either all fascists or they're all trans. There's no in between apparently. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. But you think it's Alpha, which is where the real nasty reaction is going to come from.
I think it is. I think they just look. You can only
Are you
tell.
Picking this up at the school gate still, or are you? Or is that restraining order kicked back in?
No. It's just what I've read and what I've got mates who've got kids who are Generation Alpha, particularly the boys, and they all say they're not having it.
What are they coming out with?
I mean, they're all big Tate fans.
That's not a good sign, is it? The big Tate, the Andrew Tate thing, though. I do wonder how much of that is just they they just think he's outrageous and funny, rather than they think this is a way to live my life, or this guy's got it all figured out.
But if you think about it, think about what you wanted at the age of 13, 14. You kind of sort of want that Andrew Tate thing, don't you? You want to be big, you want to be buff.
We've already established that I haven't got, can't be bothered to do.
Yeah, but I'm thinking 13, 14, you want to drive a fast car.
You want to wear like very homoerotic clothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that something you wanted to do at 13, or was that?
No, I think the whole...
That's a part of the Tate thing which doesn't get picked up upon as well. It's got a very strange dress sense.
Yeah. The little shorts.
Yeah, everything's very small.
Yeah.
But
little skimpy shorts.
So that's what you think is attracting them, is the skimpy shorts.
I think it's part of it.
It's repressed homosexuality, you think?
I mean, he is. I mean, if he came out as flamingly gay,
it would kind of make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
I mean, it would make 100% sense. You'd be like, of course.
And that'd be one way to bring him down, wouldn't it? In the manosphere, I suppose.
And also, as well, it would be like my dad said to me. I remember this was a moment when the scales fell from my eyes about my dad, and that he didn't know everything that I thought he did. When he went, none of us knew Freddie Mercury was gay. I'm like, what?
Is it one of those ones where in retrospect it makes... But I'm trying to think, what was like early Freddie Mercury?
And we talking about handlebar mustache Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. Some people's got bad gaydar, though.
George Michael.
See, that'd be another one.
Like, who looked at George Michael and thought that's a straight
So you think
man?
we're going to be having the same conversation about Andrew Tate?
Yeah, I think so.
This is a bold claim. You heard it here first. This
Yeah,
is,
exactly.
Bookmark this.
Bookmark
for years
this.
hence.
Yeah. Though, sadly, Andrew is nowhere near as talented musically as either Freddie or George, who I'm both huge fans of.
He does make rap music, or he did, didn't he, Andrew Tate?
Did he?
Yeah. There's some really awful rap songs out there. I can't remember any of them, but it came up in that, there was those two Vice guys made a documentary about him.
Yeah.
They went and hung out at Hustlers University, or wherever
Yeah.
it's called. And what part of the challenge that one of them, that like the presenter had to go through to like win their trust, was to get in the ring with like a UFC fighter. This is one of the things that all the people who signed up to that course had to do. And he picked one of Tate's songs as his walk-on music, and it sounds absolutely terrible. But
really?
he's a bit of a poet on the quiet.
He's a bit of,
Another expression of the sensitive side we've been talking about.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to look at a person in the round. Yeah. You just do. People are multifaceted. That's all I'm saying. I like a man who can rap. And look, there he is.
Yep.
He's doing, look at him.
He's still got a bit of hair there, which is a bit disconcerting. God, this is even worse than I remember. Oof. Plenty leather on the Bentley. That's bad, isn't it? But another frustrated artist who turned very wrong.
Yeah.
So
it's just
that's another. I'm hinting at another historical figure. I'm terrified you're going to talk about now. But
but we've got to talk about it in the round, So but no, like Andrew, he could have been a contender in the hip hop world.
Yeah.
And maybe he was thwarted. The thing that I don't think we talk about enough is that Tristan Tate is quite clearly wearing a syrup.
I haven't even thought about that. I haven't spent enough time looking at his.
Mate, it's a syrup.
It makes a lot of sense because Andrew's very bald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you reckon, Jackie, that's a syrup, innit? Let's see this. Come on, Tristan Tate. Look, come on. That is a syrup.
That line is very disconcertingly straight, isn't it?
Yeah. Look at it.
So you're thinking that's actually like the hairpiece rather than he's gone to Turkey and got the old,
He's
procedure.
either gone to Turkey or he's got the old stick-on thing. It's dodge. It's dodge. He's got a syrup, mate. That's syrup is Cockney rhyming stack for wig. Syrup of figs, wig. Oh, don't do that. If you type in Francis Foster hair, you're going to see it. We'll actually, when it comes to balance, we need to have a look.
Oh, hello.
That's me.
So when was this?
This was in 2000.
You look like you've just sort of emerged out of a bush or something.
Yeah. I thought that this
out
was...
all night sort of thing, but...
Yeah, I had an earring in there. You can't really see it in there. You also, that's worrying. That's literally the first photo that comes up. What I had was I thought I looked like Sid Vicious.
Yeah. The light sort of bloke hanging outside the school gate. So actually, sometimes style is destiny.
Yeah, yeah, and it's more like kind of just pure ADHD and all the rest of it. So yeah, I've had some absolutely. I remember I interviewed you. I had a terrible haircut.
I can't remember. What was it like in those days? What was the? So you had a few terrible haircuts.
Oh,
few
mate,
phases.
I've had some shockers. I've had
You
some...
had a kind of modish thing at one point.
Yeah, I did,
Was
yeah.
that what? Yeah. I didn't want to say
Yeah.
anything. It'd be a bit rude. Like first time we met, I was like, "What the hell?" It was
Yeah,
like, you know.
so let's see Tom Slater on TRIGGERnometry. There we go.
Oh God, this is a trip down memory lane, is it?
Yeah.
God, I've changed
Yeah, you have, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's your future, let's be honest.
as a community leader.
There you
Here
go.
we go. Yeah, this is very don't look back in anger, isn't it?
Yeah.
So talk me through this. You were in an Oasis tribute band.
Yeah.
You were, you know.
I thought this looked good. I thought this was good. Censorship and free speech.
There we go. It's funny that these topics still come around, isn't it? How
Yeah.
long ago was this now? 6 years.
6 years ago, it got 20k.
Which is appalling, really, isn't it? But
What do you mean? At the time, we were very happy with it.
oh, that's right. Also, this was at the kind of above a pub in Chiswick days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Before you had these very salubrious surrounds. as you know.
Yeah. So wearing the Fred Perry polo,
Yeah,
and there you go. I mean, Constantine looks exactly the same, really.
absolutely.
And so do you.
That's far too kind. But yeah, this is.
I think you've even wearing the same shirt.
I need a pay rise, man. This is terrible.
Yeah.
So any other weird haircuts that you want to get off your chest now?
No. I
If
think
anyone knew Francis has got some,
yeah.
it's got some embarrassing photos. Please send them in.
Yeah.
Not too embarrassing.
Yeah, let's not make it Me Too Part 2. Dear Francis, my sister's fuming about Reform UK's burqa ban debate. She says it's dog whistle politics targeting Muslims like her. My mate who's voting Reform says it's about British values. I don't want to pick a fight with either, but it's getting heated at family dinners. Should I try to mediate or just eat in silence? So imagine that well, not necessarily, but if his sister's Muslim, I imagine this gentleman is Muslim as well. Could not be, may not be, maybe his sister converted, whatever, or maybe he, I was going to say transitioned, probably the wrong word.
Yeah. In this context, do we think? But from what we gather here, she's not wearing the burqa herself,
No.
because that would add an extra kind of personal dimension to it, I suppose.
Exactly.
You know, moderating that debate might be a little bit more testy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not to get serious again at this point, but like the idea that like going after the burqa is like attacking all Muslims just doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Like it's really not that. I mean, really, when we're talking about the burqa, we're talking about the burqa and the niqab and you know, the range of garments. It's a tiny proportion of Muslim women who actually wear them. You know, so it's like as if that you're launching some sort of tirade against all Muslims because you happen to dislike this particularly misogynistic, obviously reactionary garment. It's obviously nonsense.
Yeah.
But I just like the idea of this playing out in the middle of a dinner, of a family dinner. I don't think you should ban it, incidentally, but at the same time, it's like, I don't understand. I can maybe understand why she's particularly perturbed by this, but you know when you see like actual like liberals going out to bat for the thing,
Yeah.
it's like going out to bat for Gilead or something. It's really odd.
I do think on a pure, it makes sense with liberal values that people should be able to dress however
Absolutely.
they feel. So if they want to wear a burqa, they wear a burqa. I must say, I feel uncomfortable with the niqab because there's a highly controlling element to it. And also as well, it's things like, you know, if a woman has been physically abused, she's trapped in a marriage which is physically abusive, which unfortunately a lot of women are. You know, that's one way of covering up bruises and swelling, whereas it would become more apparent if her face was on show.
No, but I suppose what I'm getting at is you have like a lot of people who are sort of liberal left who don't just say it's their right, wear what you want, which is weird because like a lot of liberal left people these days don't care about freedom anyway. They don't think you should be able to raise your kids or like tweet unaccompanied and all the rest of it. But in this instance, suddenly they're quoting John Stuart Mill. It's a little bit weird. But also they kind of even suggest that even to talk about it or go after it is like racist.
Yeah.
Which is weird because obviously Islam isn't a race and also not that many Muslims actually wear this garment. But I'm with you. You shouldn't ban it, but at the same time, it's like it's weird that there's such a kind of cultural cringe around even discussing it.
So what's he going to do? The sister she's kicking off. The mate's all about British values.
I think he's got to pick a side. I think, you know, there are certain points, there are certain debates where there's no middle ground. What are you going to say? Like, oh, I think we should only, you know, oh, you make good points. Maybe we should only ban it on the weekends or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's not really going to work. He's got
Or
to pick
maybe
a side.
just you just like the ones that are fit, they shouldn't be able to wear it.
I love that how that's going to be implemented as well. Like, you have to go to some sort of office.
Yeah. I mean, 7 and above, mate.
Nigel Farage should just sort of give you a score out of 10.
Right.
And then they'll send you on your merry way, either with or without your burqa. That would be how practical solutions for a better Britain. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, if a woman's a 9 out of 10 and she's wearing a burqa, you just think maybe if you just let your hair down, literally and metaphorically. it just brightened the place up a bit. Yeah. We're in crisis.
Exactly. She's a waiting integration success story.
Yeah.
You know, she will be welcomed into the community.
She will be welcomed into the community. It brightened the place up. We're struggling economically, socially. You know, Britain's on its arse. It needs, you know, and you know, a lovely bit of, you know, crumpet.
I think you found your way through this. I mean, you know, like this. We were talking the third way.
Yeah.
Banning the burqa, but only for the uggos. That's your sort of like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't use the word for the uggos.
Oh no, sorry, in the opposite direction. Rather,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm just saying that if a woman is particularly physically attractive, she should let the hair free. What do you reckon?
What I love is the idea of a reform government having to implement this, and I think it should be Nigel himself doing it because that would just be even more.
I think that's the only way to enhance some minds.
Yeah, you make a very strong case.
So you're up for that?
You know, I want to see the white paper and whatnot. You know, I want to see how this is actually going to pan out. But you know, this is the sort of blue sky thinking we need to get through these very testy debates that all of your viewers have been sending in. So it seems to be a lot of people who just seem torn between two people in their family or friendship group screaming at each other.
Yeah,
is that a common refrain with a lot of your viewers?
Yeah, it is really.
There's not a lot of you know, this is sort of not necessarily personal advice. It's just like, how do I resolve these fractious family arguments? But
yeah, but there we go. There we go. Have we got time for another one, Jackie, or is that it? We're out of time. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Make sure to subscribe, to leave a comment, to leave a like, tell somebody about it. Thank you very much for Tom. If people want to Tom Slater, if people want to find you online, Tom, where is the best place to do that?
Spiked, first and foremost, spiked-online.com. I'm also on Twitter at Tom_Slater_.
Okay, fantastic stuff. So, thank you very much, like I said, for watching and listening. If you like it, tell people. If you didn't, shut your face. We'll see you here for another excellent episode of Francis Foster Sorts Your Life Out. Take care. God bless. Remember to look at everyone in the round.